of Health reveals that the statistics of West Nile are worrying.
Yes, the data from West Nile is showing some districts. It's not uniform, but we also noticed that it's above the national average. Some districts are above 25, others are in 30s.
Refugee hosting districts of Yumbe, Terego and Koboko are among the local governments with high teenage pregnancies.
Our dropout rates in schools within Yumbe district stand at 77%. Besides, over 75% of Yumbe district is a population of the young people. This means that there's quite a lot that we need to do.
To that effect, the Dutch government has provided funds to International Rescue Committee to implement the 4-year protection of sexual reproductive health with the aim of improving sexual reproductive health and social well-being among adolescents and women in West Nile.
The statistics remain concerning. 24% of married women of reproductive age have unmet needs for family planning, and in refugee and host settings, unmet needs is even higher. 43% among refugee women and 33% among host communities.
Today we have launched this new project, which is funded by the Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands, which is targeting how to reduce preventable maternal mortality, sexual and gender-based violence, child marriages, targeting 6 districts in the West Nile.
According to the State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Huda Oleru, who presided over as chief guest during the project launch in Yumbe, said the project will help in boosting retention of the girl child and reducing maternal mortalities.
With today's launch of Protect SRA HRA project, we declare that every Ugandan, regardless of age, gender, or ability, deserve the chance to live a healthier life.
Joseph Forama, UBC News.
Now, Naguru Reception Center, a safe haven for the abandoned and vulnerable children, has received a much-needed facelift thanks to the generous support of Plascon Uganda. Let's hear more in this report.
Have you ever wondered what becomes of a child abandoned on the streets, or those without a home, a shelter? In Uganda, the government has established a care facility to ensure such children have a place to call a home. One such a facility is Naguru Reception Center, which works closely with the police and child welfare services to accommodate and care for children in distress. When police comes across abandoned minors, they reach out to designated homes like Naguru for urgent support.
Who are missing or lost, abandoned, trafficked, neglected, those whose parents are in prison, and those whose parents have special needs, and even street children. They are the categories of children who receive. The center is under the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development.
Over the years, it has provided care for more than 800 children annually. Initially designed to temporarily house 25 children aged between 2 to 7 years, while efforts to trace their families were underway, the center has since expanded and upgraded its capacity and services. The core mission of Naguru Reception Center is to provide safe temporary care and support for children while tracing their relatives. For those with no traceable family, the center facilitates adoption or links them to alternative long-term care facilities. However, years of wear and tear had left the facility in a dilapidated state until Plascon Uganda, in collaboration with Rotary Club, stepped into action to make a difference.
Plascon has always believed in giving back to the community, and that's why we are here. We were approached by the Rotary Club of Kololo for this project of painting the Naguru Reception Center. So we have come here to donate paint today, and we hope that this beautifies the place and gives a more hygienic and a nice environment to the children who are living here.
With donation of paint worth 25 million shillings, Plascon has given the center a vibrant new look transforming it into a more welcoming environment where children can feel at home once again. The Rotary Club of Kololo contacted Plascon Uganda to intervene.
As you are aware, the Rotary Fraternity, it is a non-government organization. It is a movement that supports the less privileged, but they support them through good works of people like Plascon. So we are happy to have the partnership with Plascon.
I'm one of the few remaining Rotarians in the club who started the Rotary Club of Kololo in 1988. We have been supporting this center since 1989, as you have heard. We've done a number of developments within the center, of course, with the support of Rotary International.
And to the much anticipated D-Day, the 3rd June Martyrs' Day, hundreds continue flowing into Namugongo to mark the 3rd of June Martyrs' Day 2025. Now, our focus today is on the elderly, how they make it to Namugongo.
It is rare to see hundreds of elderly individuals walking for miles without showing signs of exhaustion. But every 3rd of June, pilgrims from all walks of life embark on a journey of faith to Namugongo Martyrs Shrine in commemoration of Martyrs' Day. Our focus tonight is on the resilience and devotion of the elderly pilgrims who make this long trek. Meet Akelo Jane, an elderly pilgrim who has walked all the way from Lora to Matuga. We found her resting, tired and exhausted. She admits the journey is physically demanding. It is the endurance and faith of the martyrs that keeps her going. Many elderly women in the group from Ayam district shared similar stories, testifying that they are walking to Namugongo purely on foot. The pilgrims were also joined by Jane Francis Achilo, who is contesting for the woman MP seat for Yam district. While in Matuga, she not only offered assistance to the weary pilgrims, but also shared messages of encouragement, urging them to keep the faith alive. On 3rd June, hundreds gather to Namugongo, not just for prayer, but to honor and remember the sacrifice and unwavering faith of the Uganda Martyrs. Charity Marion Imnat and Amon Ngabo for UBC.
And in the religious fraternity, the Pope Nuncio Emeritus, His Excellency Augustine Kasuja, has officially opened a one-week training of chaplaincy at Uganda Martyrs University main campus at Nkozi in Mpigi district.
The youth can take these tendencies to be normal in the long run if not properly guided.
Archbishop Kasuja commended the Uganda Episcopal Conference for designing such a training that aims to address the challenges facing chaplains.
Equip you with the skills to help you work with the youth and help them in their lives.
This training is an initiative by Uganda Martyrs University to ensure chaplains are trained to get new skills that will improve their service.
Among other things, why we are doing this course is to equip our chaplains. In most cases, as I mentioned earlier on, the priests are trained generally in pastoral and theological courses, but there is no specific training for carrying out chaplaincy. And they don't even have the skills, usually when they are beginning, that they can count on. So this course, therefore, is meant to fill that gap, to give them the skills how to deal with the current issues. Like, for example, when we were being trained, the problem of drugs was not a very big issue. But now in schools, you find schools that are filled with the people who are already taking drugs.
Uganda Matters University also announced plans to lobby National Council for Higher Education to register chaplaincy as a course unit at its campus.
So these courses, we call them short courses. They are not yet academic courses, because for them to be academic, we have to register them with the National Council for Higher Education. So we have some staff here who are embedded with this course. Eventually, we shall come up with an academic program, maybe for 1 year, and that would mean maybe a certificate course, or it could be a diploma course to begin with, so that these ones who have attended some of these courses, eventually we can regularize what they have studied, and we make it an academic program.
This training attracted all Catholic and some lay participants from all the 19 Catholic dioceses of Uganda.
Now, in a law conference, the 4th Annual Employment Law Conference has concluded, bringing together top judicial officers, lawyers, policymakers and labor experts. The forum sparked critical conversations around legal gaps in employment, the need for faster dispute resolution and policy reforms to protect both the worker and the employer. From courtrooms to corporate officers, the insights shared are expected to influence Uganda's labor justice system in a meaningful way. We bring you highlights from the voices that have shaped this discussion.
We have more people working cross-border. You get an employee, the employee is coming from another jurisdiction, maybe coming from the Middle East, but this person is going to be working through an agency.
Most people draft these employment contracts without looking at the provisions of the law. Well, the Employment Act should guide every provision having the employment contract. And because most people are frustrated, maybe they've not had work for a long time, every opportunity they see, they rush to sign. So most of these people do not engage legal practitioners, they do not consult, they just enter into contracts like it's any other normal contract. Yet employment contracts should conform to the provisions of the law, the Employment Act, because
I know most workplaces now require to align your organizational HR policies with the digital penetration, with the new work protocols. Requires that those policies change, but also to cause a cultural shift at the workplace. The mainstream system that we had for the existing courts, they have come up with a unique system that will be open to the entire public sometime soon.
Backlog, when you look at the backlog which we have in the industrial court, it's a big backlog compared to the countries that neighbor us. Why? Because we have few judges. So if we can increase on the judges, if you asked me, that is an area where we can actually do better. If we can increase on the number of judges who are in the labor courts.
We came to see the ratio between the judges vis-a-vis the potential claims that are going to come before the courts. And of course we saw that the ratio, if we have 23 people in the workforce, as the data shows, that means that for every judge, they have a potential workload of 11 million claims.
So convergence of jurisdiction is one thing that I have picked personally as a takeaway, and it's something that we need to keep engaging our friends in the legal fraternity to be able to support.
Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kashaija, has revealed that the appetite for borrowing for budget financing is not making by the government, but rather caused by the tiny resource envelope in form of taxes raised from citizens, which cannot adequately meet government services and all its obligation. He revealed this at a media center while launching the National Budget Month activities for the financial year 2025-2026.
National budget estimates for the 2025-2026 financial year amounts to shillings about 72 trillion. While launching the National Budget Month for fiscal year 2025-2026, the Finance Minister Matia Kasaija has said that government will no longer entertain projects execution delays and below standard work in all government projects.
Going forward, all government projects will be guided by the NPIM policy and the Development Committee guidelines to ensure they are completed on time, within budget, and to the right quality standards. I want to create jobs as many as possible because Uganda, we are prolific in terms of when we need to produce children.
In a sounding tone, the Finance Ministry says they don't love the business of borrowing for budget financing, but usually ends up forced into the business of borrowing because of few taxes collected, which cannot sustain government projects and services.
This borrowing, no, borrowing. I am just forced because I have not got money. I have not got money from the taxpayers.
Finance Ministry says effective tax compliance is the ultimate answer to this. The incoming budget will see at least 35 trillion Uganda shillings raised from taxes, while the rest will come from borrowing and other avenues.
People are refusing to pay taxes. Why? Where do I go? You want me to mortgage your country? Those who are working, pay your taxes. These taxes are meant to make your life easier. You want roads? You want schools?
There is also an accusation that Finance Ministry is not strongly following up projects under implementation and also not reining in on underperforming accounting officers.
Our inability to execute projects on time, on budget, has led us to have undisbursed and unutilized loans. And this is costing us money. Around, I think, last financial, around 73 billion Ugandan shillings of commitment fees. How then can we ensure that the money you have given out, that these sectors should be able to execute it on time, but also on budget? For us from civil society, we believe that you are not whipping enough, that you don't have enough sanctions. If you are an accounting officer, you have the money, you can't execute, step aside.
Crispus Arinitwe, Ubc News.
Well, thank you very much there, Crispus Arinitwe. Now, looking at appropriate technology, Ministry of Water and Environment through the Appropriate Technology Center is promoting innovations of eco-friendly technologies to facilitate our environmental conservation agenda. Now, in line with this, the ministry is hosting a 3-day Appropriate Technologies Expo at Lugogo Uma Showgrounds, a platform exposing the public to various innovations for possible uptake.
Beyond rewarding customers, Play Your Cards Right campaign is also aimed at encouraging greater adoption of secure, fast and convenient digital payments. Each monthly winner will receive 10 million shillings split between debit and credit card usage, making a total monthly prize pool of 40 million shillings.
Play Your Cards Right is a campaign of celebrating this progress, but also reflecting that the journey we are on in digital banking will be rewarding you for every time you transact, and I would urge you to continue transacting with our customers. And let's create a new journey together. I look forward to hearing stories of winning.
And of course, that was a story about Absa Bank, Uganda. It has enrolled out a new customer campaign, Play Your Cards Right, which will reward 14 lucky winners with cash prizes totaling to 200 million shillings, running from June to August 2025. Now, the campaign is open to all Absa debit and credit card holders. And of course, we will be updating you more on that campaign. Now, moving on to investment, Old Mutual Investment Group Uganda has officially launched the private wealth management bespoke solution for high net worth individuals and entities, transforming wealth management in the country. Now, the private wealth by Old Mutual emerges at a critical time when many wealthy investors have outgrown the traditional unit trusts and are actively seeking more advanced, diversified and global integrated investment opportunities. Let's hear more in this report.
Private wealth is just one of the product offerings that we are giving our clients. And this is just continuing this journey, which started, of course, with insurance. The whole market knows us as market leaders in insurance. Then we have also gone into the unit trust space. We have our loyal corporate clients. Those are the pension schemes. And now we are simply saying this. The big question is, what next? We have many clients who are very happy with what we have given them through the unit trust. But the question is, what next? Yes, I've got my return, which compounds on a daily basis. I have access to my money anytime. I'm very grateful with the other benefits that the product offers. But what next? So that's exactly what private wealth does. We're now looking at customized solutions. There are people out there who are very worried. I've built my legacy and I'm worried about what happens when I pass on. What's going to happen to my portfolio? We're investing your funds at Old Mutual, but there's so much more out there you need guidance on. You're looking at people who are thinking about diversifying their assets outside the country. So we have capabilities because we're in so many countries around the world. And so what we're simply telling our clients is this, that by being an Old Mutual client, you have opportunities to benefit from the services that we're offering.
I think Africa-wise, it's only really 2 or 3 countries that are really far ahead on this. I think the really good thing for Old Mutual Uganda and for the Ugandan people in general is that there's a blueprint that they can use that we have in South Africa already. So they don't have to go and create a new structure. They don't need to go and have to find capital market access. They don't need to go and build processes. They can use what we have already. Me being here as a portfolio manager just shows that they are leveraging off the group. I think what they need to do is the education part, and I think it came through in the questions we received tonight as well. It's like you need to educate people as to why they need this, because often there are misconceived perceptions as to what the real deal is here. The more people are educated on the need for this and why it is beneficial, not just for the matriarch of the family or the patriarch of the family, it is also beneficial for future generations.
So private wealth is not a product, it's a service that we're offering to clients who want to diversify their investment portfolios. And so today what we're simply doing is we were showcasing our capabilities through the partners that we have locally, the legal firm that we have been doing business with, as well as our Old Mutual private wealth clients based in South Africa. So we're simply showing the markets that you can entrust.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin. Thank you very much for being a part of us. Right now, let's go to our live feed and give you what's making headlines this afternoon. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Good afternoon.
0.5, because we were not able to rebuild reserves as a result of the disrupted world. We used